I'm CEO of the Tech Connection, where we help tech employers find diverse tech talent.
I'm Rachel Francois, one of the co-founders of Kickback.
Catherine T. Morris, founder, curator, executive director of Boston Art and Music Soul Fest, known as Bands Fest.
Kendi Valdez, and I'm the co-founder of Project 99. We help companies engage and retain their diverse millennial talent, particularly young professionals of color, through trainings and events. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I moved to the United States at the age of 11, so spent half of my life so far in the DR and also in the US. I'm a first generation college graduate, low income daughter from an immigrant family.
My background is that I'm first generation college student. I'm Jamaican American. I grew up here in Boston. I went to UMass Amherst, and I started the Tech Connection after I was working at Google on their diversity and inclusion team, and now I run the Tech Connection full time with my team.
So I have an undergraduate degree from Bryn Mawr College, the Women's College in Pennsylvania. I'm in sociology, social sciences, but I always use that as an angle to investigate and explore and celebrate Black people. So my concentration officially was Africana studies, but I found ways to make the coursework work in that way. I currently work now at full time in New York City. So Kickback, this is all populated, but Kickback started literally from me and my brother. I have two brothers. I was coming home on a weekend, sitting on the porch. I was like, what is it that we can get into that's not going to require me to change out of my sneakers, that's not going to require you to have a hard bottom shoe, you being my brother and all my male friends, hard bottom shoe and a collared shirt? Because obviously that is coded language for Black and brown people in Boston establishments, and we couldn't think of anything unless it was just going to someone else's house. So we were like, let's just do something where we can get together. It could literally just be us, meaning my brother and our friends. We will have live DJ that doesn't include top 40 outdated music.
What we do, I think, is very unique. Not only do we produce music and art shows, but we professionally develop our artists that become a part of our network, our family. The story is very unique. It comes from many different perspectives. I think the three inspirations behind it are my father, my mother, and my brother. So all creative people, and here I am trying to figure out, okay, Catherine, you can't do any of those things. You can whistle, you can doodle, but that creativity, yeah, that's not me. I got this bug at 13 when I did my first talent show at a Boys and Girls Club in Boston. And I literally organized the whole thing from soup to nuts, promoted it, auditioned people, I was hosting it, I was selling dinners, I was making cookies, I was promoting, you name it, I did everything. I was so exhausted at the end of the show. But then I came to my mom and I said, whatever this is, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And she looked at me and said, you sure? Yes.
Key reason why I'm in this work right now of social justice, equity, inclusion, because it shouldn't be about luck and chance. It should be about everybody getting the opportunities and the resources to be their best selves and thrive and achieve the dreams that they want to achieve. It shouldn't be a lottery.
We sit in a city where there's lack of venues and space. And what I mean by that is there's not many atmospheres that create a sense of belonging for people of color. You feel it. You when you walk into certain venues, you can already feel it, you don't belong. But it's very challenging because there's some venues that will literally say to us, we don't want y'all here.
I think once I was like, I'm going to stop looking for an invitation to be in spaces and just claim it and own it through my actual lived experiences and realities, and that is what brings value.
I always say to my white allies, even my Hispanic allies, at the end of the day, we're gonna need each other. You may need me for diversity and inclusion statistics, and let's just be real. Yeah. Yes, you're gonna need me for that. But on the back end, I'm not worried about statistics. I'm worried about authenticity.
All these institutions have to change their policies because you bring this into your workplace or your business, if it's uneven from the beginning, it's not gonna get better anytime soon.
Lack of opportunities and resources is always going to be a struggle, and I think you have to be really self-aware of who you are right now and what information that you don't know.
One of the biggest challenges is funding. So we sit in this unique position of, well, where do we apply for our funding? What makes the most sense? And a lot of times we don't fit the criteria.
We completely bootstrapped our business for the first 3 years. We are now a profitable business. We've done well, and that's because we knew how to hustle. When it comes to compromises, I had to make a lot. I think that so often when people graduate from school, they kind of get the luxury of making a choice, or maybe they get to take a year off, or maybe they get to go and travel.
The other thing is, which a lot of people don't know, is that when I started BAMS, I had a decision to make. Do I pay my student loans because I had the money, or do I take that money and invest into BAMS Fest? And I chose BAMS Fest. So I still live in student debt just like everybody else.
One skill set or value add or strength that most underrepresented people have is that they have grit, perseverance, and ambition.
I think Black Lives Matter, we've just been able to give it a language, a catchphrase, a hashtag, but it's Black lives have always mattered, and that's why I think Black people have so much ingenuity and creativity, because it's part of our survival.
It took me a long time to realize that I was smart. It wasn't until after I left my job at Google that I realized my value. Oddly enough, on my 3-year anniversary of being a Google alum, they actually called me and asked me to go back and speak. And they wanted to hear my story, and I was like, but you know my story, right? Like, I left, I didn't stay, and there's different reasons for why I did that. And they were like, yeah, like, we expect that Googlers are smart people, and they're gonna wanna solve problems that they see within the world. So come back and tell the true story. And that's what I did.
Project 99 has been recognized by the Clinton Global Initiative and featured directly by President Bill Clinton. My advice is to really understand yourself before walking into one of these organizations. Understand what's more important to you, what drives you, and what are you not willing to give up. And be unapologetic about it. Be confident about what you bring to the table. If you're a very shy person or an introverted person, just one day decide to do that thing that makes you so scared and so afraid, and then the next day do it again, and the next day do it again. Doesn't mean that one of those days you back out and all of a sudden you're back to your normal self. It just means, hey, that day doesn't work out. I understand my strength. That's not it.
If you are authentically, as a woman of color, supporting other women of color, that when you walk into a room, you should be embracing or encouraging all kind of women, and not just the women you identify with, because our struggles are pretty much similar. Even if you're Hispanic, Haitian, Black, African, as a woman first, we all endure similar experiences, because that's how the world treats us.
Stay aligned and in tune with your gut. Your gut is where the Black girl magic actually lives. I feel like that we question it, like, oh, I don't know, is this a risk to take? If it's beating you in the belly, that's your magic. That's something that's saying, like, it's something that you are uniquely positioned to do and offer, and you need to follow that. And I think the earlier that you can be in tune and align with that, you won't do yourself any wrong.
So it's very timely, and it's time for us to celebrate each other and celebrate who we are and the strengths that we have in a way that we haven't done before, because the world needs our diverse perspective more than ever. A fun fact about me is that I actually participated in spelling bees, and I went to the National Spelling Bee and represented the state of Missouri. So for a couple of years, my life was like Aquila and the bee.
I love to travel. My favorite pastime and hobby is collecting passport stamps. So I travel at least 4 times a year and try to find fun and exciting new places to go to. This weekend I'm going to Costa Rica. I'm so excited. If you can tell, I'm dressed a little bit more summery than the weather here is in Boston. So looking forward to going to new places. And it's been a fun year so far. So far this year, I've gone to Israel, I went to Cyprus, I went to Greece, so I've been having a lot of fun.
My group chat, one of many, which is called Wakanda Heights, keeps me all the way together. All the way together. And it's like, I have to put it on silent and do not disturb because they be a little cray-cray during the work hours. But that space, we can go from like, oh, did you hear about this recent police incident, to like, are there bays at this Brooklyn shindig later tonight? So that's like one thing that keeps me all together, and just reminds me of just the beautiful richness of my people. Yeah.